Hi guys, I'm Dhirender Singh Jamwal. I'm a rifle shooter, now coach, former athlete. I won a silver medal at the South Asian Games in 2010. I'm with the folks at Answered to discuss about Olympic shooting. Watching the Olympics and what are those cool eye patches that the shooters have? Why do we wear them and can I get one of those? The eye patches are just to cover your non-shooting eye. So you generally would aim with one eye. And if you're a right-handed shooter, you would close your left eye. And you make them with just plastic. I made mine with the takeaway boxes that I got from one of the restaurants. Or you get ones, you can buy them off the shelf with the headband and the blinder comes with it. The idea behind that is you don't have to close your eye. So if you close your eye, you are exercising this muscle and over time this gets tired, which means even this will start closing a little bit. To avoid that, you just keep both eyes open but cover this eye so you can see the image sharper. That's basically why you wear those eye patches. How come the pistol guys like that Turkish shooter turns up to shoot casually in pajamas? Like they just got out of bed, and the rifle shooters have some specialty clothing, like they are some special operatives. Even if you look at it in combat, rifle is for precision and pistol is for reflex. So you wear a canvas jacket and canvas trouser and special shoes to find stability. That is one reason. The second reason is kids start this game at an early age, say at 10, 12 is when they start. And that leads to a lot of lower back issues. So to avoid that, the rifle shooters, considering the rifle is heavier, they wear a special canvas jacket and trousers to one, find stability and injury prevention. But pistol shooters, again the pistol is fairly lighter and you want that mobility considering it's a reflex sport. They do not wear all this that restricts movement. And that's why you have rifle shooters looking like they're going out for some special operative. You should actually see them walk. They walk like robots. If you think humanoids are not yet invented, come to the shooting range. That will be fun. If I had to start learning how to shoot in India, where do I need to go? So shooting in India is quite abundantly accessible nowadays. So a lot of private ranges. If you want to do the air rifle or the air pistol shooting, which are non-firearm sports, you can just look on Google, where can I find shooting ranges in my area. There will be something that turns up, especially in tier A and tier B cities. If you want to do the firearm ranges, then you have some limitations. Firearms are 50 meters, 25 meters or the shotgun ranges. To start off with, air rifle and air pistol are great events. How many types of categories are there in shooting in the Olympics? What's the difference between them all? There are three main categories in shooting. One is rifle, one is pistol, one is shotgun. And each of them have 5 gold medals that you can win at the Olympics. So rifle has 50 meters 3 position, air rifle, gender division and mixed event, which is again 10 meter air rifle. In pistol, you have 25 meters rapid fire pistol, you have 10 meters air pistol, both mixed and gender specific. In the shotgun, again similarly, you have something called a trap shooting and skeet shooting. So these are the 3 events that you have at the Olympics. The skill sets for each of these events are different. So generally shooters would either take part in only rifle events or pistol events or shotgun events. They don't go across categories of events because of the specialization. Are they using ammunition when they're shooting for sport? What would happen if an athlete accidentally shot someone? Would it be fatal? Of course it would be fatal. These are guns that we are dealing with, but the caliber itself is not very big. So if you're using a firearm, say a 50 meter or a 25 meter event, then you would be using .22 caliber bullets or 5.56 mm. They can definitely be fatal even at 50 meters or 25 meters, at what event they are meant for. And you do need licenses to carry these around in India. For the air rifle events, they may not be fatal, but they can cause serious harm. So exercise all safety rules in a range, and that's the first thing you would be taught in any range that you would go to. And if safety is taken care of, then shooting is a lot of fun. I really hope my kids grow up and pick up table tennis or something. How would you carry your gun or rifle if you're getting on a plane? If you have an air rifle, is pretty, or an air pistol, air weapon is pretty straightforward. You get a special permission letter from your academy or your association, and you show it, and you have some paperwork to do. And you go there much in advance because it takes about an hour. For firearms, you need an additional, along with all this, you need an additional certificate or an approval letter basically from the DGCA. And if you're traveling for a non-competition event, say if I'm going for coaching somewhere, then I have to pay a certain amount to the airline. If I'm going for a competition, then the airlines normally don't charge anything. And some airlines even provide weight concession, but again, it's dependent on which airline you go on. But it's fairly straightforward if you're a sports person. The thing is, the guns have to be packed separately, so you can't pack it with your suitcase or whatever. Or if you pack it inside your suitcase, then the entire suitcase is treated as a weapon box. My kid is showing interest in learning to shoot after this Olympics. How much would I need to spend if they were to start shooting? Interesting. So shooting comes across as a very expensive sport. To start off with, you really don't need to spend on any gear or anything. There are a few consumable costs like your pellets and your targets and all that stuff. But apart from the membership fee, generally if you go to a private range, they would have the basic level of equipment to give you. So you don't need to worry about spending on equipment yet. To put numbers to it, it might cost you about 3,000 to 5,000 rupees a month, can go all the way up to 10,000. And eventually, yes, you'll have to keep picking up your equipment. Like any other sport, you'll have your own equipment. And as you keep growing in stature of competition and as you keep winning, you will have to keep spending more on equipment. Once you start shooting, it doesn't make sense to buy basic equipment because those kind of equipment will be provided by the range itself. So what you would need to do is pick up more competition level equipment, which is basically what any other Olympic level athlete will use, even if you are just 1 year into the sport. So a rifle might cost you close to 3 to 4 lakhs. And this is the best rifle, so you don't need to upgrade it on top of this. It will last you about 5 years. Same with the pistol. The pistol is a little cheaper. It might cost you in the range of 1.5 to 2 lakhs. With rifle, you also have to spend on your gear, which is like your jacket, trousers. To start off with, you might be spending close to about 25,000-30,000. And as you grow in the sport, you will have to spend a little extra. Are the makers of the guns and rifles for sports the same ones who make the real guns? Actually, what's the difference between the ones used in sport and the ones used for hunting or something? You would have heard of Walther. Walther is the pistol used by James Bond. They are very prominent as a rifle manufacturer in India. So if you see, a lot of air rifles are supplied by Walther in India. But there are other manufacturers also equally good. There's Feinwerk Bow, there's Anschutz, there's Steyr, and there are many more in the air rifle range. And in the 50 meters range, you have different experts over there. You have someone like Bleicher. Walther again comes out strong over there, and you have Anschutz as well over there. They are mainly come from Switzerland, Germany, European countries, and we import them over here. This is to do with rifle, and then you have a separate set of experts for pistol and separate set of experts for the shotgun. You might have not heard of these names, but they are specifically into accuracy. Coming to the second part, what's the difference between sports kind of shooting and say hunting. The focus on sports is to shoot a bullseye. That's the only focus on it. So accuracy is of prime importance in this. Accuracy to the millimeter or even the micrometer. So generally the sports guns are slightly more heavier and cannot move very easily. But if you are going out hunting, you need to be more mobile. You need to move with your target. If it is a bird, if it is an animal, or even if it's a fish, you need to move with it. So those guns are fairly lighter. They're a little more inaccurate because you have a larger target to do and you can get away with that. And you don't need to worry about recoil and energy and all that, because if you go out hunting, you might be just shooting 3 or 4 shots. But if you're shooting as a competitive sport, you're probably shooting close to 100, 150 shots in a day. For that, the idea is accuracy versus mobility. So that's where the difference is. Combat is a whole different picture. Combat is you need to really get your target somehow. So over there, accuracy is not the main deal, but in that specific range, as long as you can fire continuously without your rifle breaking down, that's good over there. So that's the difference between what you would use in competition, what you would use for hunting or combat. Is there a shooting league or something like in India, like the IPL or the Kabaddi League? How do shooters get competitive experience? Yeah, so shooting as a sport itself is growing in India. So you do have a lot of competitions coming up, and there are talks about a shooting league happening, maybe as soon as March. It's still at a very nascent stage. The first test event might happen this year, or maybe even the first league might happen this year. But we have a lot of competitions. So we have the nationals, which is one competition in a year, but we also have one other equally high-level competition to the nationals happening somewhere in June. So a national level shooter would have exposure to these two competitions at that level. And if you are really good at the national, then you qualify to give the Indian team trials. That happens almost every alternate month. Those are called the Indian team trials. So if you're a trials qualified shooter, you would essentially be shooting high-level competitive match every alternate month. If you're a state level shooter, then you have competitions at the state level. You have a lot of open competitions. Again, you have competitions maybe 6 to 8 in a year at the state zonal level. That's what I'm talking about. So you have the calendar itself is packed, and the shooters basically need to pick and choose what they want to shoot. The idea is to first learn to shoot, and once you're ready to compete, at any level, you have competitions for you, whether you are in the school, college, or whether you are in the state, zonal, national level. So if you are in school, then you have your inter-board competitions. So you have IGCSE, you have CISE, which we knew as ICSE, or we have state syllabus or CBSE. So you have your board. The people who qualify over there have their national level. So you have your regionals, you have your national level. And people who do well at the nationals, they get to represent their board in the SGFI, School Games for India competition, which at that level is the highest level. Then you have a similar hierarchy in the university level also. So you have your university level matches, then you have your regional university level matches, then you have your national university level matches, and that you can also go to world level. So you also have world university games. And shooting is part of it. So I encourage my athletes to pursue that, because that's a fun competition. Like, even though the level of competition is very high, it's a fun competition to start your international shooting career. Should I learn to shoot air pistol or rifle? Again, very tricky question, and I'll be considering I'm a rifle coach. For my own business, I would encourage you to start rifle. But what I would recommend is you go to your private range, try air rifle and air pistol, and any range will have both these over there, and see what you enjoy. Forget how well you shoot, because rifle shooting in the center is slightly easier, but the target is also much tinier. So forget about how well you shoot. That shouldn't be the objective. See how you feel when you shoot, when you pick up the pistol or when you pick up the rifle. See how you feel, what connects with you, and that's what I would suggest you continue with. And don't worry about how well your first day was, because eventually the hard work stays the same at competitive level. So don't judge it by your first day. The effort and competition level will be the same. Do I need a specific workout routine if I'm learning to shoot? Is it an endurance sport? Amazing question. Yes, it is an endurance sport. Why is it an endurance sport? Because although it might look like we're just standing there and just like, moving one part of the body, in shooting we're doing something very unnatural. Our body is meant to move. Like even if we are sitting, we can't sit straight. Some part of the body will move. Either our toes will keep moving or our fingers will keep moving. But we can't sit still, we can't stand still, we can't even lie down still. So that's the biggest challenge in shooting. We are making the body do something that it is not meant to do. And that's why it's an endurance sport. We are not trying to stay still for a couple of seconds. We are trying to stay still for a long duration of time. Our matches are 1 hour 15 minutes. In that 1 hour 15 minutes, we have to shoot 60 shots. So we are absolutely still for maybe 3-4 seconds, maximum 10 seconds every shot. But apart from that, only very limited part of our body is moving. Whether it's pistol, whether it's rifle. In shotgun, you're moving a little more, you're moving across stations and all. But that's why it's an endurance sport. It lasts for a longish time. And if you're physically fit, then you're also mentally fit. So that helps you focus better. If I'm not physically fit and my back starts aching, my focus moves to the back. Instead of staying on the sides and shooting the actual shot, it moves to the back. But if I was physically fit and my back was stronger, then I could continue to stay with that motion for a longer duration. That's why it's an endurance sport. Workout routine can range. It's more of a personal choice. I can tell you mine. I love doing cardio. When I say cardio, I did a lot of cycling to bring down my heart rate. So again, in a match, you're supposed to stay calm. Adrenaline will come through, but even with that, you need to stay calm. So when your heart rate is rising, I don't want it to go off the chart. I want it to stay in a range that it can be controlled and I'm not like freaking out. So that's why I did a lot of cycling and I did a lot of yoga. And that suited me. A lot of my colleagues did calisthenics, a lot of my colleagues did weight training. We have to figure what suits us, and that can make your workout routine. But what I encourage is for more intermediate shooters, try out everything, see what works for you and go with that. For more beginner level shooters, I would recommend playing another sport along with shooting. Maybe playing chess might not be such a good idea. Two mind level games, a more physical game might be a good idea. Are there any shooting sports held outdoors? What if it's raining? So only air rifle and air pistol are held indoors, and that's very controlled. So your temperature is controlled, the height of the target, light is controlled. So whatever the environment is outside, it doesn't affect the sport at all. Everything else, 50 meters, 25 meters and shotgun are outdoor sports. And the only time a sport stops is if there is a safety hazard or if there is no visibility. So if it is raining, we continue to shoot unless we can't see the target beyond a certain level. So that's the only criteria. So if it is raining, if it is too windy, the game doesn't stop. So actually in the outdoor sports, you train for the external factors. So if it is too windy, if it is raining, if it is cloudy, how do we shoot with this? Because we still have that limited time. We have to shoot so many shots in so much time. We don't get extra time just because it's windier, or we don't get extra points because when I was shooting it was windier and when my competition was shooting it was less windy. We don't get all that. So we learn to shoot under these conditions. So, and that itself is a challenge for the outdoor sports. In indoor sports, is more of a technical game. In outdoor sports, along with it being a technical game, we also have to face these factors. What's the right age to start shooting? is there any age limit? Like, can I go shooting with my friends if I'm in my mid-30s? Yes, of course you can go to the range when you are at any age. In the last state meet, I saw a lady who had just started shooting and she was probably in her 70s. And she was a rifle shooter. So you are wearing all that kit and all, and it's so hot. And then you are carrying a 5.5 kilo rifle to shoot. So there's no age limit to start shooting. It is encouraged to start shooting at any age because it's a very mature sport. So if you can stay calm or if you can stay very objective about things, then shooting is a great sport to start at any age. What's the right age to start shooting? According to National Rifle Association of India, which is the governing body in India, they said 10 years is the minimum age to compete at a national level competition. But what I would recommend is if you're picking up rifle shooting or pistol shooting, the equipment is fairly heavy. So as long as you can carry the rifle or carry the pistol, shouldn't be a problem. Don't push to get into the sport very early, but see how your body is. Can you handle the weight? Because pistol you carry with one hand, rifle you support it in the body, but there's a lot of weight in both events on your lower back. So, and that's where the growth happens in your teenage. If you're not taught the technical skills properly, there might be a growth issue. Like, I mean, you won't stop growing, but you might get injured and that might hamper your growth rate. So instead of growing maybe 12 centimeters, you grow 10 centimeters. I would recommend just go to the shooting range, try it out. If you're still excited about it, go again. And if you're in your mid-30s, definitely take your friend in. Yeah, so that's the end of this. So thanks so much, guys. This was a lot of fun. For more information, you can get in touch with me via Instagram and you'll find my address somewhere here. But yeah, looking forward to being in touch. I'm based out of Bangalore, so we can probably meet as well, or Instagram is a great way to connect. Thanks so much.